We're back in the Crunchy Cultures kitchen. Yesterday, you guys saw, we filled up all 5 of those, and then there's 4 more on the other side over there. We didn't get out of here until like 8:30, 9 o'clock last night, which is incredibly late for us. Today is the start of saga of kimchi. We're making 8 crocks of kimchi, and it's gonna take 2 days. I genuinely don't know if I make a profit on the kimchi, certainly when you factor in labor, because it is very labor intensive, at least the way that we do it. We need to figure out a better way to do it so that we can actually, make a profit, but that's life. How's it going?
I was trying to get this in here safely. Pretty good.
Robert has been working on the daikon, which takes much longer because you have to wash it and scrub it and cut it and julienne it. And I was able to whip out the snap cabbage, and I'm just about to get started on the apples. So, yeah, that's all that's going on here. Phase 1 of kimchi is completed. There are many phases. I don't know how many, but the next one is phase 2, and that is the lemongrass, lime zest, and green onions. I knew when I placed my order, but we actually have quite a lot of extra apples, and so I'm thinking hopefully hubby will want to throw those in the cube freeze dryer, and we can make use of them, because I don't eat apples. Hubby doesn't really eat apples. I'm sure he'd probably snack on 1 or 2 when I brought it home, but certainly not half a case. So I don't really know. Let's ask him. What do you think about throwing those in the cube freeze dryer?
Apples?
Apples?
Do that.
You just take them home so they don't go to waste?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Do that. Oh yeah, of course. It's always a go. When you freeze dry
I know,
stuff.
right?
I have to freeze dry stuff all the time.
He's obsessed with it. He'll freeze dry literally anything. So
Yeah.
so they won't go to waste. Next time I know that I just can't order wholesale apples, I'm just gonna have to pay the full price because I just don't want it to go to waste. So anyways, we are on to lemongrass, green onions, and lime zest. My 3 least favorite parts about making kimchi, but I have help today, so hopefully it won't be so bad.
I'll try to be fast and professional on this. There we go. I'll go quick.
Okay. Babe, you gotta learn to claw. So you don't cut your fingernails off. There we go.
Okay.
How are you enjoying your future career?
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Why?
I almost never thought about that.
Well, it is.
It's nice and relaxing, peaceful. There's cut stuff.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a lot more peaceful than the previous, well, the current.
Yes. Oh, good.
You just like turn the
Feel like
camera
my
off.
afro with the
Afro hairnet and a
afro
beard net.
hairnet. Look
You
fun.
can't see either one on camera.
Huh?
You can't tell either one, at least on this little camera screen.
Oh.
It just looks like a mushroom. Oh, there it goes on your forehead. You can see it on your forehead. That's it. It blends in. I'm back. It is day number 4 of our week, and I just thought that I would update you guys in case you're wondering how long it takes for ferments to become very active. A day and a half. I don't know if you can see on the floor, but it is everywhere. And I normally have they're kind of like proofing trays, like big industrial proofing trays that I usually stick under there. but I wasn't expecting it to start that until tomorrow. Usually it'll start to kind of do it after, you know, like 2 days. But so clearly this is very, very fresh, very, very active cabbages. It is mostly the curtido that is the culprit, but it happens really quick. There's also the beet kraut over there is doing it, and the pink kraut. So one of the beet krauts, I should say, is doing it, and one of the pink krauts. So today on the agenda, we got everything done that we wanted to get done yesterday. We got all the lemongrass done, we got all of the green onions, we got the cabbages, everything is ready to rock and roll. All I have to do is assemble it, make the sauce, and put it into the crocks, which is very doable, very reasonable to do 7. Oh, we were short on the Napa cabbage, so we only got 7 instead of 8 done, but that's totally fine. We'll just have 1 extra crock that we can absorb into the 12 that are, should be coming tomorrow, and we'll probably be processing in 2 weeks, because these guys have a 3 to 4 week cycle, technically 3 to 5, but really kind of the 4 week mark is kind of the spot, the perfect spot. What I really like to do with the ferments is to let them go until the pH kind of just starts to mellow and it just kind of stays the same. The reason for that, I've been told by the place where I had my ferments tested. He's very knowledgeable. He had his own fermentation company for a long time. I think he still does. But anyways, he had, you know, I was able to kind of pick his brain when I went and got everything tested. And one of the things that he said that he always used to do is to ferment it until the pH level starts to kind of settle. And he had told me the reason for that was that gives it the highest level of probiotic content, because everybody says 3 weeks, that's the sweet spot, but it depends on a lot of stuff. It depends on the ambient temperature, it depends on the freshness of the vegetables, it depends on what bacteria the vegetables themselves were actually exposed to. So a lot of things will determine when that sweet spot is, and he said the best way to gauge it is when the pH, you know, kind of levels out for a few days. So today is going to be a very busy day. Also after this, I have to actually go to our main big city, and I have to take care of a bunch of stuff there. So we have to kind of not race through this, but also race through this. We got to get it done really fast. I have 18 crocks, technically 17. So 5 fit on the bottom row. I really like to keep them on the bottom row. Non-negotiable is keeping the kimchi on the bottom shelf. The reason for that is that it has an allergen in it. It has soy. So I got to make sure I keep that on the bottom shelf. So if there is any drippings, which hopefully there won't be this time, but if there's any drippings, it can only drip onto the floor. It cannot drip into another ferment. Each of these is self-contained, but if it were to drip over onto the top of one below it, it wouldn't get inside the crock. But I don't mess around with allergens. I like to make sure that I'm a safe allergen company. I'm actually looking into ways that I could possibly make my kimchis soy-free. So our products would have absolutely none of the 9 big major allergens in them. So we're playing with that, but I forgot that I was playing with it, so I didn't actually do what I had intended. Oh no, I'm doing that today. Never mind. So I'm actually playing with one of my recipes to see, it won't be for sale because it's, you know, it has a different ingredient in it, but at some point, if it goes well, if it tastes just as good as the other one, we may switch it to a non-soy version and be completely allergen free. So kind of looking forward to that. So I'm gonna change out this battery because it's already dead and get to work. So I'll see you on the flip side. Do that in some variation 6 more times. It is done. All 17 crocks are full. One of those ones in the middle on the top there, that one's empty because remember we were out of the Napa cabbage. One thing that I thought was really cool. Okay, so this morning off camera, I showed you guys that I needed to tend to the crocks. And I tended to all of them, you know, that includes like draining out the moat if it has overflowed into it, refilling it, pushing it down, you know, just to, because when it grows, when it ferments, it grows because the bottom parts, the solids kind of separate to the top, and then it's also filled with CO2, kind of replacing the air. It's just natural part of the fermentation. It just kind of grows, it creeps up. And then it'll push some of the brine out the top. I don't need this anymore. So, forgot what I was gonna say and the battery's about to die, hang on. Still don't remember what I was gonna say. But we're trying a new, not a new necessarily, but this time around, I'm gonna try keeping the crocks in here. Just a little bit easier to clean up when it does overflow, and there's no room out there where I used to put it, because I got 2 pallets for the boxes, and we cannot get to unloading the bottles into the boxes until next week. So where I usually keep them is just pallets of boxes that we need to figure out. It is just a cluster around here because we're in the process of, we're growing, and the new owner is building out a room for us. Oh, I'm gonna show you that. Okay, so anyways, there were a couple of these that I was rather concerned about would not get there in time. And one of them was the beet. I was really surprised because it was really active. It was one of the ones that had filled up into the brine. It was overflowing. Just in the time that I've been here, I think I got here at like 9. It's 6 o'clock now. I need to hurry up and get out of here. It's sunset right now. Anyways, it dropped 26 points from 24 points from 5.06 to 482, and it became incredibly active. And just in the time I was here, it also began to overflow. Both of the beets ones do. That's pretty normal. Beets go really fast. But another one that I was kind of concerned about was the pink kraut. It is 5.17, really high for the second day. But I just checked it, and it was 5.0. And earlier in the day, I was mostly concerned about it because it showed no signs of fermentation after a day and a half. So now it's been 2 days, and it is showing signs of fermentation. It had almost started to overflow into the moat, so I was able to push it down. So we're just gonna let those guys chill there. The people who are gonna be here tomorrow and the day after, I cleared it with them to make sure that that space was not gonna be in their way. It's on wheels, they can move it if they need to. So, I don't know if, actually, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna show you the space that he's building out for us in the next video because he's halfway done with lighting. So I'm gonna show you that when we actually have lighting so we can actually see it in there, because right now I don't think it'll show up on camera. So ready to go home, it's not even funny. And I have to come back here for like the next 4 days, every day, maybe even twice a day, so that I can check on these guys to make sure they are not overflowing too much, or really at all. If it overflows at all, I gotta clean it up. If not, it can attract like fruit flies, and it can, if you leave it long enough, it can start to mold, but I don't leave it long enough. I did that once and I was like, oh, gross. Not in these ones at home. Anyways, I think this video is probably long enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and head out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this really random week of stuff. Actually, it's only 2 days of stuff because I split it into 2 videos. So hope y'all enjoyed a peek into the Crunchy Cultures kitchen, and peace out, sauerkraut.